For most of my life, I had been involved in a criminal lifestyle. A lifestyle that had claimed the lives of so many friends. Only I had been lacking in something, and I had no sense of purpose. This was until a near-death experience changed my life forever. I travelled a lot over the last 15 years, but I hadn't been anywhere for quite a while and was feeling very disconnected with myself. So it seemed the right time in my life to walk the road to Santiago.
I've known Alan for quite a while now, and it's interesting how he turned up one day to ask me some questions about the Camino. I was interested in helping him on his way, because when you think about it, it is an amazing shrine that many people have gone to over hundreds of years, and they travel from different parts of the world, and not everybody has faith. You know, they're not all Catholics. Some people are just searching, as we're all searching for meaning to life. And I think that's what Alan is on this journey of searching for himself, for who God is for him as well. And so, Father, we ask you to bless and sanctify these scallop shells.
Some say the grooves in the scallop shells that pilgrims carry represent all the roads that lead to Santiago, or to some, all the roads that lead to God. I like the story where a man who was cheating on his wife was swept out to sea. There he prayed to St. James, who then suddenly appeared and rescued the man's almost lifeless body. On waking, all that was left clinging to him was a scallop shell, the symbol of St. James. And from that day, he lived a life of dedication to the saint.
So, Alan, we want to wish you all the best.
Cheers.
And ask you to remember us in your prayers, and as we'll be praying for you.
I wouldn't say I was religious, but I had always believed in something. And even more so after that near-death experience in Thailand, where I fell off a 70-foot waterfall. I knew then for certain that there was more to life than what I had known before.
I was just out in the open, and I just, you know, everything just kind of stopped. It was like kind of just, you know, someone pressed pause. And it's just as soon as I said, you know, I'm dead, it kind of makes me sound a bit nutty, but I kind of heard something say, "Yet you are dead." When I heard it, it's kind of, although I know I'm falling off a waterfall, I kind of almost had this moment in time to be able to look around to think, where's that voice come from? After, you know, this voice had said, "Yes, you are dead," and I'd kind of looked around, then you have, well, I had what was, obviously I've heard, is called a life review, you know, which kind of just flashes so fast, but you kind of, you know, every moment in your life. What I was left with in that point of a second or whatever was regret. You know, that although it's the end, it's like, wow, I kind of knew what life was about.
The regret was not pursuing my dreams of being a filmmaker, but I was given another chance to live and pursue these dreams. A day after the fall, I found my first book by Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, which was an inspiration for those who wanted to follow their dreams.
Here we go. Have you got your gear on like your boards, or you bring it?
No.
You see, that's what I mean. You see, that's more stuff, isn't it, to go in? Look at that right on his case already.
I know, don't start.
No,
I
but
brought
what I mean-
personal gear, me as well.
See.
I'll tell you now what I brought, yeah. And I tried to take vanity out of it. But jeans, trackies, which I've got on, 2 pair of shorts other than my walking stuff. I brought a jumper, a shirt, and 2 t-shirts.
Oh, that's wrong, mate.
I knew you'd start. What do you mean? Well, what then? What have you
Because
brought?
we're not going on holiday, what we bought. And this
Yeah.
is going to go into shorts, and that's it.
Is that it?
That's it. And I've got the jacket we bought, you know what I mean? We're going on a pilgrimage, we're not going on a right, well, listen, I'm going to put my own gear on now.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know what I mean? You are in
Of
your
an
own
evening.
gear. No, this is your own gear. Other pilgrims are going to be dressed in their pilgrim stuff.
We arrived at Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port after a tiring 2-day drive from England. We hadn't done any prior training as Jodie had recently punctured a lung, and me, well, I was either just too lazy or too stupid to train for the walk. The books had all recommended at least 3 months hill walking as training. We had done none. But at least we looked the part of a pilgrim.
It's all right, wait till tomorrow when you've got the... Oh, you...
Before we began our life as a pilgrim, or peregrino being a Spanish word, we had to register for our credential, which is the pilgrim's passport. This would be our identification from now, and you would show this passport as proof to gain your bed for the night.
Donc, vous partez demain? Demain? Non, non. Vous partez demain? Marchez. Hein? C'est demain que vous partez?
Sorry?
Vous partez demain?
Yes.
Yes.
The stamps themselves, given from the hostels or churches along the way, are very important to collect, as once you reach Santiago, this passport and the stamps will be checked in order for you to claim your Compostela, which is a certificate of your pilgrimage.
Voilà.
That might be the only stamp we get.
Bon camino.
Michel?
Bon chemin.
Bonjour.
Hein?
Bonjour.
Bon chemin.
Bon chemin.
¿Habéis dormido bien?
Thank you. I don't really think you contemplate it properly until you're actually here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. To get prepared, but it's not like a real thing, I guess.
Not up here, you know. Not, because that's part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting prepared up there, so.
And what have kind of decided you of coming here?
Well, in all honesty, I was inspired by Alan and been inspired by the decisions he's made because of a book, which is The Alchemist.
By the way, she told me that he stayed here about 5 or 6 years for two nights.
Oui, il a fait, c'est ça.
Stayed here.
Oh,
In my bed.
Il a dit.
Dans son lit.
Non, non. Dans son lit.
Oh, yeah.
in your room.
Paulo Coelho is a Brazilian writer who has sold over 140 million books worldwide. His book, The Alchemist, has sold over 65 million copies and was the one that influenced my life. But his first book, The Pilgrimage, was a personal account of the author's own experiences along the Camino. What was so special about this road to make him write one of the most inspiring books of our time? I contacted Paulo's agent and told him my reasons for walking the Camino, and to my surprise they replied to tell me the author would meet me in a forest in Geneva once I completed my Camino. I was intrigued to walk the way of St. James to try and understand the effect that the power of the Camino had on Paulo. Would it serve to inspire me even more than his words? But I was even more intrigued to meet the alchemist himself.
I can't believe that Paulo stayed there.
You know?
How mad's that?
Well, that's the kind of sign, innit? You know what I mean? It's the start, and then we're going to kind of meet him at the end. We are starting no turning back now, you know, lad.
Let's go.
Oh, are you sure? Are you really sure?
No, let's jump for it.
Hey, which way is it?
That way. The Camino Santiago. Thank you. Can't believe we're lost already.
Just not follow your nose, mate.
Bonjour. He's the...
He walks. That's beautiful.
Monsieur, bonjour. Camino?
Ah non, c'est pas le chemin de Saint-Jacques, ça, hein?
No?
Non.
Which way?
Il faut revenir en arrière,
Yeah?
monter,
Up the hill?
et après la grande
Ah, see.
I told you it was left here. Oh, my word, this is some steep road, this.
For over 1,000 years, people have been making their way by foot or riding horseback to Santiago de Compostela, the final resting place of St. James, who was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. Although bicycles have now become more common than horses, the most popular way of completing the pilgrimage is still by foot. According to legend, the remains of St. James was buried under the site where the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela was built, and people have been making a pilgrimage to this site ever since. The Camino Frances, which starts in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in the foothills of the Pyrenees, will mean walking around 34 days, over 500 miles of countryside, hills and rivers, and facing the same elements just like the countless millions of pilgrims before me. This is my Camino.
I'm kind of struggling, to be honest with you, this first day here.
Bonjour. Put you up.
No chance, mate.
Come on.
I can't, I'm stuck.
That woodpecker was beautiful, man. Can't believe it's in a
He's talking, he's been having me talking and talking. And I've spent half my energy because you like that. Give me a break.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, go on. I'll see you up there, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you not mind me leaving for a bit?
No, go on.
Cheers.
Suddenly out of nowhere came a beautiful figure, which for the first time today reminded me this was a religious pilgrimage. All my fears, doubts and complaints seemed to diminish on seeing the statue of the Virgin Mary in the middle of a mountain. There was something almost surreal about it, and I got a sudden lift of energy, which was just what I needed.
Oh, bless us, the Holy Mother. Still got a long way to go.
Do you know what I'm getting?
What?
Hot spots on my little toes.
The Augustinian monastery at RONCESVALLES was once a pilgrim hospital and had once been the most powerful monastery in the region, built through donations from kings and queens of Spain, Portugal, Germany and France. And the site of the church had been selected by the Emperor Charlemagne. The monks, who had welcomed all pilgrims regardless of their faith, still perform Mass every day for the passing pilgrims. Even if we couldn't understand the words said, you couldn't help but be moved by the whole occasion. The monks in white garments, the smell of incense, and the tiredness of the first day's walk all mixed together suddenly brought up unexpected emotions from both of us.
That was obviously, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that was the most physical, the most demanding, walk or anything physical I've ever done in my life, ever. Do you know what I mean? Nothing can match that. There's just no way I was quitting. I mean, there was just no way at all, and I'm so glad I didn't, because once I think, broke past the kind of a pain barrier, I totally enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the first 2 or 3 hours, I admit that. But I feel good. That's the strange thing, I feel like I've already achieved something already. I'm feeling every single step up to now.
What will it mean for you to meet Paulo?
Well, obviously, it's going to be a big thing because, when someone... He doesn't...
It's going to be emotional, though, are you?
Yeah, of course I'm going to be emotional, but I'm kind of almost scared because you're thinking, well, you wouldn't...
What if you don't like you?
Well... Come on, lad.
Come on, I'm only messing.
More chance of not liking you.
I've got a funny feeling he's going to take himself too far at this point. If I stay behind him, he injures himself. I can come and help him, can't I? If I walk off and leave him, he's going to blame me, So. I'm going to have to walk really slow to do this.
Pamplona is the first major city you pass after Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. This is the city where the famous running of the bulls occurs, and I was so thankful it wasn't today. The huge roof and the cloisters were impressive, but we knew nothing of what the artwork meant, and this made me feel slightly inferior with the faith I had been born to. Although christened a Catholic, I was by far a firm believer, or even an ardent follower of the church itself, but I had always felt an emotional connection when I visited the church, and it seemed Jodie did too. Sitting in this place, I suddenly made a primeval connection with the pilgrims of ancient times, wondering how many had sat where I was sitting, who had thought the same thoughts and had the same fear. Maybe this is what a modern pilgrim began to do, compare every footstep of themselves to the pilgrims of the past, and by doing this began to endure exactly the same trials and tribulations.
You know, I've been going on about my feet, which I'm sorry I have to say, but I mean, they are sore, but in the carving, you know, you had the kind of shoes they must have had to wear, and, you know, they didn't have all these kind of comfy, well-made mountain shoes and, you know, an Air Max or whatever, but, you know, it kind of sort of put a little bit into perspective, you know, and also the fact of how big this thing is, that you're going into these big cathedrals and there's something that's in honour of what we're doing, pilgrimage. To be a part of that, we're a part of that, like...
Me and Jodie had separated. His pace was just too quick for me, especially as we began the rugged climb up the mountain called Untitled Chapter, the Peak of Forgiveness. They call this the place where the path of the wind crossed with the stars. But there was something rather tacky and disappointing about the metal figures that lined the view. It didn't have the same peaceful presence as the statue of the Holy Mother on the Pyrenees.
Here's my friend, Lucky Luciano.
Bene, bene. Sì, sì, la salita leggermente pesante, ma dopo quello che abbiamo fatto.
Camminate insieme?
No, a tratti. Abbiamo sostato insieme. Le soste le abbiamo fatte insieme, il cammino da solo.
Hai dormito un po'?
No, a dormire di giorno non ci riesco. Mi riposo un pochino. Credo che lui continui, vada più avanti. No, lui è più giovane, quindi deve camminare di più.
Non ha messo peggio lui?
No, no, che non è messo peggio. E oggi è 2, fra 5 giorni, 60. Mi sono commosso in chiesa, no? Sono andato nella chiesa di San Sermin a Pamplona. Non è che io sono un religioso, un praticante stretto, però credo. Ma ci sono momenti che in chiesa si sente una presenza che vado cercando dovunque, non solo in chiesa.
After the laborious and painful descent, I kept wondering where Jodie was at this point, if he was okay, if he had found it as hard as me. No doubt he did, because anyone would.